And we're back. It's Nick Shell with Family Friendly Daddy Blog, my beautiful wife Jill. We're going to tell you about a new toy. This was actually Christmas, wasn't it?
It was,
okay.
Yeah.
So take a look at this right here. Okay, so right now, if you were to go onto Amazon, you would type in Gaggia Brera Super Automatic Espresso Machine in silver. So that's what this is. So here's what we want this video to be. What if you went to someone's house and you saw this and thought, man, that's a fancy machine. I'd like to have one. In fact, maybe I'll get one. And then you said, but Jill, how does this thing work? Well, that's what this video is for. My wife is going to show you how this whole thing works. I don't even really know how it works, but that doesn't matter because my wife is here to save the day. So what we're going to do is I'm going to get behind the camera and I'm going to my wife is going to explain how all this is going to work. So let's start with maybe how you have to put the water in. Let's demonstrate how that works.
Yeah? One thing I just thought of is that we need to push the start button on
that's
actually
good.
The back of the machine.
Okay.
There's a little button.
Okay. There you go. Okay, so that's good. This is from the beginning. This is what we want.
That's right. The flashing light, that just is the light that tells you that the machine is off. So to start the machine, you just push it once, and it's going to run its course of cleaning and preheating the machine to get it ready to make your coffee. So we'll let that do its thing, and while that's warming up and turning on, I'll show you how to put the beans in, and I've only used the whole bean because that's kind of the purpose of the machine, I think, is to have your espresso ground right before the cup of coffee is made, because that makes it taste the best. So we purchased the Lavazza Cafe Espresso beans from Amazon, and you just pour them into the top like this. And generally, if you fill it up, it stays pretty full, probably for about 5 days or so. So I only add beans to it about every 5 days, but it just depends how much you make coffee. And that's usually 1 to 2 coffees per day. So it's got quite a good size holder for the beans. Then I always check the water, and that's just, you pull it out here, it's nice and full, and you don't want to exceed the max line, and it just slides back in there. I also want to show you where the coffee comes out is in this little container, and I want to make a mention that it is important to dump that every couple of days, because otherwise it gets full, but it will show this light if when this needs to be empty, and it will also show you a little light over here when the water needs to be filled. But without further ado, we can start making our espresso. And I like to drink lattes, so I always froth my milk first. And so with that, frothing is very easy. You just turn the dial over this way, and I will say that there's some water that comes out before, so I kind of wait a second, and I also keep a paper towel to kind of catch that water, just so it'll be really hot. That way when I'm done frothing the milk, I can clean the wand.
Real quick, so since you've been talking,
yes,
these lights have changed, right?
Yes.
So we've got the 3 orange bean icons here.
Oh, yes, that's a good point. I have it on the strongest pour, but you can also change it. This is if you have ground coffee that you're using in the machine, which the ground coffee, I believe, goes in this little portion of the bean part of the machine. And so if you're using ground coffee, then you'd push this button until it lit up this symbol. And then for a lighter roasted coffee or a lighter brewed cup of coffee, you'd use this button. And 1 symbolized very light, 2 more of a medium brew, and then 3 is the darkest, and I like the strongest coffee. So like I said, I'm going to turn this dial to the frothing wand, and it's going to spit out a little bit of hot water. Like I said, I just put a little paper towel there to catch it, because I'm going to use that to clean the wand afterwards. So turn it like that, and it's gonna spit out some hot water. And then I give it a second, and it's gonna start. And it just takes a minute to kind of get warm. And then I kind of move the frothing pitcher around to try to get it, to get the milk evenly heated up. And there are it's like little, what are those called? Like temperature thermometers that you can get specifically for your coffee machine to get your milk heated up to the right temperature. But what I usually do is I just kind of feel it on the side, and when it's really, really hot to where you can't touch it, that's kind of when it's perfect. When it's not too hot, but it's perfectly hot for drinking, so it's really good. And right now that's about where it's at. So I'm gonna do that, turn that back up to the middle, and like I said, I clean the wand by taking the paper towel and just rubbing it like that, and then I also blow the steam back out. And that just helps clear any of that milk that's in the frothing wand out so that it doesn't become clogged. And then I've gotten my mug already with some honey in it. I like a little sweetness in there. And to do a smaller cup of coffee, I just push this top button. And of course, similar to like, you know, the cup of coffee that you might, or cup of espresso that you might get at Starbucks or any other coffee shop. But so we'll let that pour the shot, and it does everything. Our last espresso machine, you had to put the grinds in there and stamp it down and hope you had it at the right consistency to make a really nice cup of espresso. And this, it's super automatic, so it does it for you, which is my favorite thing about the machine. So once it finishes pouring, we did learn this trick, that the best way to do it is to have the shot poured directly into the cup, and you'll see the coffee in there, and then you add the milk on top of it. We had tried before kind of pouring the milk in the mug first, and then having the shot poured in the frothing pitcher and pouring it on top, and it just messed with the flavor of the coffee. So I would suggest putting your mug under, catching the shot in there, and then adding the milk on top of that. And then with that, we give it a quick little stir, and it's ready to drink. That's perfect. Perfectly warm, perfect tasting. I love it.
I have to intervene here. So what I want to say is this. So some people aren't that crazy about their coffee. Like me, I can drink black coffee, instant coffee, and I do. That's what I do. And granted, when she makes me something nice, I always appreciate it. This video and this product is not for somebody like me. It's for someone like my wife who really cares about having good coffee. Now, for someone who would go out and spend $5 or $6 a cup a day, well, that adds up. And I know this is an investment, which it was for us, and we spent our time finding the right one, which is, we can hope that we can help you in your journey. If your journey leads here, that's why we want to help you. Like, we needed the help in searching something like this out. But when you consider how much money is being spent on coffee, if you're spending $5 or $6 a day.
And I was probably spending about $40 a week on coffee. So to put the money towards this investment, we figured that was a great long-term investment to save us from, you know, spending a couple $1,000s a year on coffee from Starbucks and local coffee shops. And we still go to local coffee shops from time to time and support their business, but it's nice to know we can actually make a really good cup of coffee here. I can do it right before work and drink it on the way to work, and I love it, and I'm fully satisfied, and I don't feel the need to go spend another $5 you know, for coffee when I can make my own.
Very, very true. So this is, if that sounds familiar, then perhaps this product is for you. And again, the links will be in the description of the video, as well as the blog post on familyfriendlydaddyblog.com, which I'll do as well, and I'll put this video in there. You were mentioning before we started, though, there was another piece of this that you purchased separately, is that right?
I did purchase the frothing cups separately. Those do not come with the machine, and I do have a smaller one just for an individual cup of coffee, and then we often will have company over, and you need sometimes a little bit bigger frothing pitcher to hold a little bit more milk so you can make more coffees at once. So that I purchased both of those off of Amazon, and like I said too, you can get the little thermometer. You can get a thermometer from Amazon to stick in there, so you can get your milk to exactly the right temperature if that's something you're interested in. And the beans we got from Amazon, and everything's there at your fingertips there.
Awesome. So a special thanks to my wife for making this video possible, for wanting this creation, and for ultimately hosting this video. So again, familyfriendlydaddyblog.com. I'll put a blog post. I'll show some more pictures on there with some more links taking you to Amazon so you can get the best deal on this machine if this is what you're looking for. But I can tell you as the husband, this was a good thing for us. So because it's...
Why? Because I don't complain as much about coffee.
That, the money it's saving us, and two, I mean, I get really good coffee out of the deal too.
Yeah.
I'm fine with instant black coffee, but then my
wife... and you also use it for your tea, which I didn't show you. That there is a hot water dispenser, which you just turn this little gauge over to the other side, and hot water dispenses from
That's true.
the wand.
I forgot all about that. Yeah, because I drink tea at least once. Like, I like to drink this tea that helps me sleep solid through the night, because often, I mean, with me being a stay-at-home dad, often I get up in the middle of the night with the baby or whatever it is. So when I am asleep, I want to sleep hard. So I have some kind of organic tea that I use. And yeah, I just simply move this over, and then it starts filling up with hot water. And then I add a few ice cubes on top of that. And then that way I've got my tea. So thanks for watching. This is our video. We're glad you decided to spend your time with us. We're back. It's Nick Shell with Family Friendly Daddy Blog, my beautiful wife, Jill. We're going to tell you about a new toy. This was actually Christmas, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Okay, so take a look at this right here. Okay, so right now, if you were to go onto Amazon, you would type in Gaggia Brera super automatic espresso machine in silver. So that's what this is. So here's what we want this video to be. What if you went to someone's house and you saw this and thought, man, that's a fancy machine. I'd like to have one. In fact, maybe I'll get one. And then you said, but Jill, how does this thing work? Well, that's what this video is for. My wife is going to show you how this whole thing works. I don't even really know how it works, but that doesn't matter because my wife is here to save the day. So what we're going to do is I'm going to get behind the camera, and I'm going to my wife's going to explain how all this is going to work. So so let's start with maybe how you have to put the water in. Let's demonstrate how that works.
Yeah? One thing I just thought of is that we need to push the start button on
that's
actually
good.
the back of the machine.
Okay.
There's a little button.
Okay. There you go. Okay, so that's good. This is from the beginning. This is what we want.
That's right. The flashing